So, okay, testing 1, 2, 3. So before I get completely carried away and sucked into that goddamn internet and have my life force drained, yeah, let me talk about some important issues here. There's two things I want to just calm myself down a little bit. There's two things I need to bring up here. The first one is regarding, the realistic situation that would occur, that I could foresee would occur if these people in these, very, 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 very top corporate conglomerate executive positions who are making the decisions would realistically arrange for this potential script here to put humanity on some sort of course that would unite us somehow and officially open us up to the rest of the galaxy. Okay, and then the next thing I want to talk about is also being a little bit more realistic about this psionics that Randy Cramer is going on about, because he himself has said that he can only move around very, very small objects like this toothpick in a suspended in a frictionless environment. So it doesn't sound like he's gotten very far. Even though he says he's got a 100% success rate, he can teach anyone to do this, but still, okay, you can move a toothpick. Wow. So what? Right. So let me talk a little bit about this. Realistically, what how a typical scenario would play out. Okay, according to my intelligence, according to my ability to deduce these things. So the way he's explaining stuff is very mediocre and very typical American, way. Okay, this is probably it mostly concerns Americans anyway, because typically they are the only ones who have, these advanced technologies hiding away somewhere in fucking Area 51 S4 Groom Lake, somewhere out in the Nevada desert or what, wherever. It's there. It's in the USA. It's not in New Zealand. It's not in Denmark or wherever. Maybe it is, but not much. Okay, mostly these TR-3Bs and rail guns and plasma rifles and all this fantastic, amazing crap. It's there. It's in the US. So typically, if there was going to be some kind of staged alien invasion, it would be focused on there, because you need to provoke those cunts enough to bring those technologies out. Attacking New Zealand or the Fiji Islands or somewhere like that doesn't warrant the US to just pull this crap out of their ass and start shooting laser beams out into the air at these aliens. So it has to happen there in the US. So yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about big bugs coming down, biting people's heads off, vaporizing buildings and bridges and roads, and destroying, cities. If you're just some average Joe or Jolene living in Auckland in New Zealand, or in Christchurch, or in small places like this. If you're in Hong Kong, Beijing, Shanghai, or Tokyo, or the New York, California, I don't know, these big cities, in these like G2, G20, powerful nations that would most likely have this crap hidden away somewhere in that event. Yeah, that would be a concern. You should probably get out of those cities into somewhere like where I am now, like out in the middle of fucking nowhere. Probably a better place to be. But having said that, I'm not I'm not convinced that people should be that worried, because yeah, okay, if there's people in these very top executive positions, and of course it's not just one round table, people sitting around there, it's multiple round tables here and there all over the world in a network, in a very complicated international corporate conglomerate type of situation. So they would surely have military advisors, strategic advisors, industrial advisors, psychological advisors, anthropological, information deduction methods. They would have supercomputers to simulate various different scenarios. So in such a type of situation, it would be highly unlikely that it would just be, boom, a big, big committed action, problem reaction solution type of scenario. It would not be just one big thing that once they commit to that, they can't take it back. It would be more likely that it would be in very small increments, that after each one, problem reaction solution, analyze the data. Okay, what happened? How did people react? Psychology, economics, everything you can imagine. They would analyze it and figure out, okay, what's the next step? Okay, next one. Okay, problem reaction solution. Okay, what happened here? And it would be more like a whole lot of little increments until they get to the point where where there's big giant bugs running around, there's alien ships coming down, and it would be very unlikely that would happen straight away. I mean, just looking from this is a military thing, so these people surely understand, the art of war, and how you run this type of game. Okay, it's not just like how Randy Cramer is making it out to be, like one big shit show of an event, like aliens just turn up out of nowhere. No, it would be more what I would envision if I was an advisor to one of these people. I would take it very, very step by step. I would calm myself down. I would look at things very, very logically and be wise. And it would be much, much more like I would, okay, so we're going to use these insectoid species from Mars to play an enemy. Right, well, is it better to have ships show up out of the sky and make everyone, or would it be better, because these are insectoids, well, why don't we just start it one step at a time? Let I don't know, a slightly bigger ant, just a little bit bigger, be found in a forest, or just someone chances up upon it somehow in some type of situation, and it's like, okay, look at this thing, it's a little bit bigger, and it just progresses from there. They realize, oh, this bug has intelligence. Okay, oh, another one here. Oh, this is grasshopper's a little bit big, but it has some kind of intelligence. And the situation slowly escalates, and the bugs get bigger and bigger. We slowly get accustomed to it, until some intelligence starts to work against us, and create some kind of problem somehow, and gradually we have to deal to it. When we start dealing to it, then bigger bugs just start coming up out of the ground, and eventually they bring back up from Mars, and it's like eventually we make that connection, but by that time people are already accustomed to it, and so I shouldn't have to tell all these fucking things to you. Use your own imagination and just open your mind just a little bit to all these different possibilities. So it would looking at it just from a strategic art of war kind of point of view, it would be unlikely that it would be played out in just one kind of big thing like that he's making it out to be.